everybody. My name is Tiffany, and it is so good to see you today.
And I'm Taylor, and we have a lot of fun planned for you today as we continue to learn about the Holy Spirit.
For the last few weeks, we've been talking about the Holy Spirit.
Jesus sends the Holy Spirit to be a helper to those who believe in him and follow him. I know I have learned a lot these past weeks about the Holy Spirit, and I am so excited to show you what we have planned for you today.
So, let me ask you this. Are you ready to have some fun?
Yeah, I think they are, so let's do it.
Okay, so today we're looking at a story in the Bible about two of Jesus's disciples and how the Holy Spirit helped them have courage to do some really cool things.
I have a cool story to share with you all about how the Holy Spirit helped me have some courage myself.
Awesome, let's hear it.
So one time I was going to a new school and I was really nervous. Whenever you go to a new school, it's very nerve-wracking. And then I was by myself, everybody else had friends. And then there was this one girl and she was by herself too. And for some reason I felt like I needed to go and talk to her. But then I was a little scared because I was new and I didn't know anybody. So then I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do that. So then I kept going and I kept walking throughout school. And then I was like, okay, God, if there's a seat next to this girl, I guess I'll go sit next to her. Would you give me just the courage to go and sit next to this girl? So then the only seat in the room was next to this girl.
Wow.
It was really cool. So I was like, all right, God, thanks, Holy Spirit. I'll go and sit next to her. So then we started talking and we had a lot in common and it was super cool. And I'm so thankful that God put me in her life and gave me the courage through the Holy Spirit to do that.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Well, let's see what Peter and John did when the Holy Spirit gave them courage. Watch this.
Get ready for another spectacular, mind-blowing, miraculous story. It's got everything. Miracles, trouble with the law, and
poetry. There is no poetry. It's an exciting, true story that comes from the book of Acts in the Bible.
Bible study.
But nobody is reciting poetry.
Amazingly true story.
There you go.
the disciples had been filled with the Holy Spirit.
That means the Holy Spirit was helping them
The Holy Spirit.
tell the whole world about Jesus.
One day, two of the all-star disciples, Peter and John, went to the temple to pray.
They were stopped by a man sitting at the gates of the temple. He couldn't walk and was asking people for money.
The Holy Spirit probably helped them have a lot of money to help people, right?
No.
Alas, their pockets were empty of money.
No money.
Their hearts were full of the Holy Spirit who made them bold.
Peter told the man who couldn't walk to stand up and walk, and the man did. Man, the Holy Spirit can do anything.
The man was so excited that he followed Peter and John into the temple,
Temple time.
walking and jumping and shouting praises to God.
The people in the temple saw him walking and running and jumping. This dude was suddenly very athletic.
These are the same people who had seen him begging for money outside the temple gate. So they became super curious about what happened.
Did Peter tell them the guy was walking because of the Holy Spirit? Because this would be the perfect time to talk about the Holy Spirit, right?
He did. And it was. And because of that, a bunch of people in the temple decided that they wanted to be disciples of Jesus too. Woo! God's story was spreading fast.
Everyone must have loved listening to Peter and John.
Well, not everyone.
The religious leaders weren't happy because they didn't believe that Jesus had come back to life. And they didn't like Peter and John sharing God's story with other people.
The religious leaders responded very dramatically and had Peter and John thrown into prison overnight.
The next day, they had to stand before the Jewish court of law, and the religious leaders asked Peter and John where they got the power to do miracles and who gave them permission to share Jesus' message. And even though they had spent the night in prison, they were still bold, just like when they told that dude to walk.
Why? What did they say?
Peter told the religious leaders what was up. He said that the power of Jesus made that man walk.
And then he said unto them, only Jesus can bring forgiveness and fix the relationship between God and his people.
The religious leaders had supported Jesus being put to death, But they were amazed at how well Peter and John spoke, even though they hadn't gone to school or anything to learn how to talk before crowds.
It was because of the Holy Spirit, right?
Totally! And the religious leaders were so impressed, they let the disciples go.
Boom! Yeah! But then they told them not to share the story of Jesus anymore.
But the disciples were bold again, and they told them they would never stop sharing the story of Jesus.
Yeah! Yeah!
Then Peter and John met with the rest of the disciples and told them what happened. And they all prayed.
And guess what? The Holy Spirit helped them all share Jesus' message even more boldly. Amazing! But the story isn't just for them.
I think I know where this is going.
When we tell God's story to other people, the Holy Spirit can help us be bold too. The possibilities are endless.
Wow, I love that Peter and John were willing to help out that man, and even when people got angry with them for sharing Jesus, they kept doing it.
The Holy Spirit is such a great guide for each one of us. He helps us in everyday things, but also in the big, scary things too.
What a great story and what a great truth, friends, that the Holy Spirit gives us courage.
Well, now it's time for our memory verse. So today, I thought we could do something a little different.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, so let's have the leaders go first and see how well they know the motions and then we can do it all together. How's that sound?
Okay, but we have to cheer on your leaders as they give it a try. Can you help them if they get stuck?
Once they're done, we will play the video again and then we'll do the verse all together.
Hi, my name is Janelle, and I'm here to do the memory verse with you this month. It comes from the book of Acts. But you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes upon you, and you will be my witnesses, telling people about me everywhere. Acts 1:8. Are you ready? Let's do that one more time. But you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes upon you, and you will be my witnesses, telling people about me everywhere. Acts 1:8. But you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes upon you, and you will be my witnesses, telling people about me everywhere. Acts 1:8. Are you ready? Let's do that one more time. But you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes upon you, and you will be my witnesses, telling people about me everywhere. Acts 1:8.
Great job, friends, and great job, leaders.
It looks like we are just about out of time, but before we go, let's say our bottom line all together.
Our bottom line for today is this: the Holy Spirit gives me courage.
Let's say it.
The Holy Spirit gives me courage. Thank you so much for being with us today. We'll see you next time.
Bye!